Beloved, welcome back to the shop. Well, I've got something very special for you today. The feds have moved into the area in force, and I'm going to take you over and show you the staging for the wildland fire and some incredible equipment that you've probably never seen before. As an update on the fire, what's going on? So we've been moved from level 3 to level 2 evacuation, which is level 3 is go now, level 2 is to get ready. There's about 800 people on the fire, and as of today, it's about 12,000 acres, and we're still at high risk. It all depends on the weather, but definitely lower than it used to be because there's so many resources on it. You can expect from me some low effort content, but good content. I went and got x-rays yesterday, and the conclusion was I have a broken finger right below the knuckle and an impact fracture on my rib. People were accusing me of not being truthful because I was moving around and acting normal, but I'll tell you, the day after I felt actually pretty good. I felt, I was pretty limited. I was being careful with it, but about 48 hours after, and then 72 was worse, and now I'm pretty much, I can't hardly do anything. I can barely lift my arm. So we're gonna go for a little drive. You're gonna see some things you haven't seen before, and if you're really nice to me and click that thumbs up, I'll take you over to the heliport as well. Let's go. The fire camp is set up here. The first thing I'm going to show you is staging. Now, staging is resources that have already been allocated to the divisions, and they're just waiting to go when needed. Here we have the staging area, and I'll pull in and kind of show you how it works. A lot of the equipment that they've brought in has been big logging equipment, like this feller buncher, because the fire is in heavy timber. Look at the size of that thing, and look at the head on that. Most of the stuff is going to be out. If you look across the field here, all of that, all those low boys are transport for equipment that's on the fire. This might be worth a closer look. The John Deere 2954D. That's the cab. They have to sit up really tall because they'll load log trucks, and that will flip up by that hydraulic ram right there. But look at the size of those tracks. I mean, this is absolutely monstrous. Logging equipment is no joke. Here's the head that cuts. I don't know exactly the name of all this stuff, but feller buncher, I believe, is what this is. But what a piece of equipment. You can clear a lot of fire road with this. Brand new Volvo off-road dump trucks. These are dump trucks that are designed to run off-road. Where most, your normal 10-yarders, they can't get much off of a gravel road, but these can operate, they articulate in much more difficult and rough terrain. Water trucks are a real staple for hauling water, keeping dust down, just a million different things. One piece of equipment that the crews really seem to like are the big skid steers with the masticating heads. They really do a lot of work for widening fire lines and clearing up along roads, and those things are just monstrous. You can't tell how big they are from here, but they are huge. Over here, we got the heavy iron. Here are 3 D6s, high drives, Caterpillars, with the full forestry packages. Forestry packages will have extended ROPS cages, you can see there, that runs up there and protects the rams. They'll have fire suppression, some of the bigger ones. This one here just has fire extinguisher, but heavy duty cooling. You'll see the wire gates up there to protect the operator from branches and trees. They are quite impressive. I've been on fires where we had 6 of these, blade to blade, and just pushed fire line down to mineral soil in just no time. Yep. D6T XLs, and that one there looks like a brand new one. More off-road dump trucks over there, more Volvos, another feller buncher. These are fuel trucks. There's fuel trucks made available to all the equipment. I do believe that when you get a contract, I think you have to pay for your own fuel, but maybe you reimburse them or pay. I'm not sure exactly how that works, if one is diesel and one's gas, but all the fuel you could want. Everything that anyone could need. Ground service will have fuel, repair parts, mechanics, everything will be here to keep this equipment running. This D6 has a drum, a winch on the back. Some of them have rippers. More off-road trucks, Volvos. Looks like there's a feller buncher. An orange arm you see sticking out there. Oh, here's something really interesting. Let's go take a look at this. You'll also see tents everywhere. Some of these guys bring campers, but a lot of them sleep in tents. I always slept in tents. We've got portable wash stations, restrooms. Yeah, look at those. This equipment right here is really incredible. I've actually seen these operate. They have the ability to go pretty much anywhere, and they can move and load logs and cut. I believe they're European, and I know my friend who's a local forester, they've been experimenting using this equipment for thinning their forests and having really good success with that. There you can see the Doosan with the cab up. So they're pretty tall. They have to be up there tall like that so the operator can see the bunks when they're loading log trucks. But those are just monstrous machines, and their tracks are different than a normal excavator. They're much more powerful. They have track motors, equivalent to what a dozer would have or close to it. All of these tractors with lowboys and these dump trucks are all transport. So whatever it is that they brought in is up working on the fire, and they're just staging, and you're not even seeing the half of it. Most of it's out on the fire. I didn't get out here till noon or so, and it's all out to work. So this is just stuff that's either they don't need yet, or they're allocating, or it just showed up. You'll have pumps everywhere. Trash pumps are being set up here at all the irrigation ditches to load or to fill up the water trucks. We've got service guys, diesel mechanics with their service trucks out here ready to respond or do whatever needs to be done to keep this equipment running. And one of the more interesting things, and kind of a new thing, well, new as in maybe 20 years ago, is a decon station. Right there, before you go into the forest and before you leave, you have to run your equipment through this decontamination. You drive on this tarp, and they have these chemicals that they spray all up underneath the undercarriage, and you can't leave. You can't get paid until you're deconned. They don't want anyone bringing invasive species from a different part of the country that would get a foothold in the valley. But that's kind of interesting, the decontamination. The checkbook is open, and there's a lot of people that make money on these fires. You'll have companies, every fire I've been on that's big, that will quickly have t-shirts printed up with the name of the fire and sell them to the firefighters. A lot of them like to go home and have that collectible or that t-shirt as a memory of the fire that they were on. Now we're going to roll up on the main camp, and it's kind of segregated into two parts. One for overhead, for the kind of the leadership area, and then the rest of the firefighters. This particular team has done a really good job with the community, keeping everyone informed, putting up signs, really making sure that they don't wear out their welcome and bother the local inhabitants. Now this is very interesting. So this is the food truck. This is the cafeteria. There will be 12, 13 chefs working inside that trailer right there, and the guys will come up, 3 hot meals a day. They'll walk up the ladder there, get their plate, and go over there behind into those mess tents. And you can eat as much as you want. If you want to come back for 3 steaks, you can do that. They have real protein-rich food, and they really take care of the firefighters pretty good. All of these reefers here, there's probably 7 of them. Those are just full of food to feed the 800 men and women that are working on this fire right now. And they do a pretty good job with the food. Of course, it's varying levels, but some better than others. But for the most part, I've always found the food to be pretty good. You'll see tents spread around here, and this is going to be the check-in for the ICP, the Incident Command Post. Now, IC and Forest Service people typically will kind of segregate themselves and sleep in their own area. There's kind of a Forest Service culture that keeps to their own, and it's just always the way that it is. And then there's the contractors. There's definitely a hierarchy on the way things are. There we have the recycling center. Fire camps are very noisy. It's kind of rare to have a camp in a community like this. Usually you're in the middle of nowhere. So a lot of backup generators, portable lights, everything you need to bring in your own power. I've even seen them bring in their own cell service, independent cell towers, as well as laundry service. Here you have another guy doing t-shirts. They're not official or sanctioned, but they always pop up on fires. More equipment, UTVs and side-by-sides. So here's my favorite part. This is supply. This is all the supplies that you would need. Fire hose, shovels, pumps, gas, MREs, sleeping bag, tents, all of this, all stacked up in boxes for anyone that might need it. When you show up on a fire, if you're a contractor or you're working as a local district and you're coming to help, anything you break on the fire, you come back here and they'll replace it. They'll make you whole. You see all the fuel cans in there, portable tanks, fuel, mix, just every single thing you could need. Guys will sit there, usually they have a desk right there and you check out. They take your engine number and make sure you're not running off of something. You can borrow things, if you don't have them, if a guy forgets a sleeping bag. Now this is going to be the main sleeping area for the unwashed masses here. This is going to be mostly contractors and maybe your fire, you guys that are not overhead. But this is a pretty good sized camp. It's coming up close to 1,000. I've been on fires where there were 3 camps that had 1,200 or so estimated per camp. So it was 2/3 bigger than this one. But look at all the tents. These trailers over here, these I believe are sleeping trailers. They're air conditioned and they're full of bunks. So firefighters that are working the night shift, they can come in there and have a dark, cool place to sleep and to rest and kind of rehab for their next shift. That's something I'd never seen before when I was doing it, but Jack, his last fire, he did his 2 weeks doing night shift and he slept in those and told me all about them. You can just see a lot of different tents and various things over there. We're gonna have showers, so individual shower stalls on those, and just kind of more of the same, just everything you would need to take care of 1,000 people. Here's a better view of those showers. You can see when I was doing it, it was just one big open shower. But now you have individuals, kind of your own spot. Wash stations, water tanks. This guy here will just roll around just spraying water and keeping the dust down so it doesn't turn into moon dust and become a nightmare for the whole camp. I was hoping to drive through the camp there and give you a little bit better picture of everything, but I got the ire up of the local security. They were not too stoked about me running around there filming, so we won't bother them anymore. So we'll head back up to the north and I'll see if I can't swing by the heliport and show you some of the aviation or the rotary wing stuff. Here are some DNR assets that have moved in just since we were here looking at the equipment. And I don't know what these guys are about here. They've got maybe a strike team. I'm not sure what's going on there. Firefighters, crew cabs with those utility boxes, so it's probably hand crews, 20-person hand crews if I had to guess. Even the lowly sewer pumper for the portable tanks. Here's a good spot where we can kind of see what the fire's doing. These are the cows that we get our milk from. These belong to my friend Jesse. He's been like 5th generation raw milk dairy farmer up here, and they are some of the healthiest, happiest cows in the world. The whole valley is organic, and a good portion of our food comes from our neighbors, which is really a blessing. So up there north, normally Fuji would be right there, but it's enshrouded by the smoke. As I said, the fire is approximately 12,000 acres and still going. You can see it's still going. It's about 3 miles from our house, and the weather's been very favorable. It's been very cool. But again, a weather event, you can just see the top poking out. A weather event could change that. It could be down upon us in a heartbeat. So we're not out of the woods yet. They're still hauling logs out of the forest. It's a double there, truck and trailer. Every access road to the fire will be shut off. And this is the first time I've seen not seen a guard. Usually there's a guard here 24/7. They don't want people going up there and getting in anyone's way. That's why I didn't want to go up there and bother them on the motorcycle ride. This overhead team's been really good at posting updated maps and information to the community, keeping everyone posted and doing community meetings. I have not been to the helipad, so I don't know if there's going to be anything to see, but we'll go down there and take a look. Our neighbors here to the west have a small grass airstrip, and they've requisitioned it for the helicopters. I know that because I keep seeing them land. They fly right over our house, and I can hear them. But whether or not we're going to see anything, I don't know. Does not look like it. If I had to guess, there is a fuel truck right there, and some sort of a support trailer, maybe for one of the pilots. But they're probably landing there at night and refueling and kind of storing all their gear there. And that's about all I have to show you. I thought you might find that interesting. I know it is for me. I always am amazed how in the middle of nowhere they can come in within 48 hours, have a virtual city built with air-conditioned bunk beds, full hot showers, 3 hot meals, lunches, logistics, ground support, mechanics, even laundry service. It's truly incredible. They have their own weather meteorologists. They have their own radio people. They are a self-sufficient group, and it's an incredible, really an incredible thing to see. Just fun fact before I close, this IC team, this system that you're seeing that's in place, can be used for all sorts of things, not just fire. It can be used on natural disasters. And I was told one time that during the Challenger explosion that an IC team was brought in, a wildland team, to coordinate all of the search efforts when they were gridding and looking for debris and, you know, whatever they do in a big tragedy like that. But that's how they managed that Herculean task, was to bring in an IC team. And it can be scaled and built up super huge or super small. It's just really a clever system that works well in this type of environment. So that's all I have for you. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.